So it's this Terry Draper used to be in Klaatu all those years ago, and now he's a big time solo artist, and he's got a new album out. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not kidding around. I'm holding it. That means it's real. Is it straight? Yeah, it's straight.
Yeah, it's good.
See, it's got a great cover. May look familiar. The style of it may look familiar, like you've seen work by this guy before. And it's got 14 songs on it, and it's got a spine and the whole thing. So you need to have it. We're going to talk about it today. And then after you listen to this interview or you watch the interview, below it, you will see videos of the songs created by a very witty young man named Jamie Grant, who's pretty talented, I must say. So, but before we get to all that, let's talk about this record. I think it's the best record that you've done in 20 years of doing this here. It's just terrific, I think it's great.
You're not the first person to tell me that this is my best work yet, and it's hard for me to judge that. I mean, it's a procession, and I'm glad to hear that, in fact, because I don't really want to go backwards.
Yeah.
I want to just keep getting better at what I'm doing. And I just so enjoy doing it. I find this collection, though, to be the most ethereal, the wackiest collection of tunes. Seems to be all over the place. I feel like that I have to go farther afield with the subject matter in order to entertain myself. And my belief is that if I can keep myself amused, I have a good shot at amusing you too.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you should classify it that way. I was thinking, now you've got songs in here that were written this year. You've got songs that were written last year. One goes back to 1992. There's quite a bunch of years in there, but still, if you put them all together, even separately, some of them, but if you put a lot of them together, what I get from it is that no matter what is in front of you, what's surrounding you, that's maybe stopping you from doing certain things because, we've had this pandemic over our heads and around us for over a year now. But whatever the problems, whether they're personal, family problems, business problems, whatever they are, that if you look ahead, you can find an opening there. You can find the little light shining through that you can follow to go through it and maybe make things better. And that's what I get from it. That's the overarching theme, even though the songs were written far apart from each other.
I guess that's why they're all together on this particular collection. I pick songs. Oh, this one, I remember that song. Let me re-record that because the demo that I did years ago is not very good. And they just seem to fall together. And there's a bunch of songs that were written in the last year or two that are not on this album. They didn't seem to fit right, or I didn't think they were good enough, or I've got a pile, maybe 25 or 30 recorded songs finished that haven't been released yet because they either didn't fit on a particular project I was working on, or I think they're substandard. These days now, whenever I write a song, I record it. That's just part of the process now. So even if it's a mediocre song, and I do have some. Okay.
Yeah.
I make a point of recording them anyway. I find that I learn more about music and about myself from the bad songs than the good songs. It's easy to know why a bad song is bad.
Well, okay,
but why a good song is good.
Okay, but look at it the other way. Let's say you have a song which you think is bad. But if you're just playing around one day and you're just trying to see how one song follows the next one, and do you ever say to yourself, hey, man, let's see how this song I think stinks, and put it there, between these two songs. Can that sometimes then sway your opinion the other way? All of a sudden it sounds good?
No, generally it makes the other song sound better.
Okay, all right.
When I say mediocre, they're just like it's the song, the lyric isn't that great, and it's not witty, and the melodies aren't particularly engaging. It's just it's like you just do work, and it's not always great,
Well, do you find
and
that?
it's hard to judge. It's hard for me to judge that.
Yeah, okay. But do you find that after doing it for so long, since you didn't just start doing it last week, do you find it harder to write a song that you think is good and not mediocre? Are the ways that you employed 10 years ago, 20 years ago, do you have to adjust for whatever reason?
I feel I find myself stealing from myself quite frequently.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've used that chord progression. Oh, I remember that worked really well in such and such a song. Let me see if I can twist it up a bit. But the problem I'm having now is inspiration, getting inspired. I mean, I could sit at the piano all day and write chord progressions and melodies and sing doo-doos and da-das, but invariably they end up in the wastebasket. 99% of the time I start writing with the subject matter in mind. And I think that helps me make the music sound like the subject matter. The marriage between words and music is better if I know what I'm talking about before I start musicizing. Is that a word?
It is now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll patent that.
Sure.
So, like when I started doing I watched this program on Netflix, and we're all watching Netflix, right? And I was watching this history of empires, and this one particular 5 or 6 episode series was about the rise of the Ottoman Empire and the fall of Constantinople. And it was really great. I love history. So I'm watching this and thinking that's really cool. And then I started thinking about this idea for a song about the Sultan's dream and to take Constantinople. It was something the Ottomans had been wanting to do for centuries. They weren't happy about all those Christians hanging around in Constantinople there. And so I go into my Google search thing and I Google Ottoman war music. And I find this thing and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Turns out I think it's their national anthem from the 1920s or something for Turkey, or some song of that. And I thought, that's interesting. So rather than steal their recording, I re-recorded it myself. Got my own drums, dun, 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 marching along, and then the horns coming in, and I got this thing, all these people marching, and I look up the lyric for this, and they're singing about their ancestors. Anyway, I got inspired, and I had a lot of fun delving into this musical idiom that is not necessarily where my heart is at, like pop music and prog rock or anything. This is way over there. But that was fun for me. I was inspired and interested and amused myself for a while, and I was quite happy with the results.
You mentioned the pop music. You mentioned prog music. It's funny, and I think we've had this discussion before, but to me, every time I read somebody saying Klaatu was a great prog band, I always shake my head because it never occurred. That never came into my head, mostly because I didn't know what prog was. I mean, to me, if it retained my interest, if it made me want to hear it again, and it was 28 minutes long, like a side of a Latter-day Yes album, if I liked it, like Tales from Topographic Oceans, I happen to like that album. A lot of people can't stand it, but to me, it's just, I don't know, something about it speaks to me. I like it. So to me, it's just catchy music. It's just music that appeals to myself.
I agree with you, Alan. I never thought of Klaatu as prog rock, although that's one of the elements I brought to the table in that band, and some of the arrangements we did and the overproduction. I mean, I've always believed that if it's worth producing, it's worth overproducing.
Yeah.
But when people ask me about that, I describe Klaatu as progressive pop or a symphonic pop.
Okay.
And it's all in the arrangements that are, a lot of them are kind of Beatley and stuff like that. But there's a lot of Pink Floyd and Genesis and King Crimson influences on these pop tunes, which essentially, most of them are.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a discussion. I say discussion, trying to put a good face on it, online, of people who are fans of Genesis up until Peter Gabriel left.
Me too.
And then when Phil Collins took over, down the drain. To me, it's just different. It's maybe the first couple of Phil albums were there was some connection to the Gabriel years, but
absolutely.
But it is what it is. I mean, they were very successful after that. You can't argue with success. But
I can.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if we're going to do that today, but I was a big fan of Genesis, and until Gabriel left, and then there was a couple of albums that still had Gabriel's impetus driving the train, and when that wore out, and they started doing "You Can't Hurry Love," that's when I got off that train.
Well, Phil likes the spotlight. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I saw Genesis live a few times, 3 or 4 times. They were quite good. Quite good.
Wow. Boy, you're all these secrets coming out about you here.
Well, a friend of mine came over to my house one day, and he brought over Selling England by the Pound and some psychedelics. And I listened to this album with him, and I had a real hard time with the singer. It was really hard his voice was just, his phrasing was odd, and the sound of his voice was odd. At the same time as this is happening, I'm listening to Greg Lake and John Anderson, who have these remarkable voices. So anyway, but that same night, after listening to Selling England by the Pound, we went downtown to Toronto, Massey Hall, and had 5th row seats while they performed Selling England by the Pound. And I was enraptured ever since.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. The closest I ever got to that was we saw in, I can't remember now when this was, a long time ago, but in Virginia, we saw at Wolf Trap, the Moody Blues live with an orchestra.
Cool.
And there was like nobody there. It was like me and my wife and 22 other people. It was about it. And it was amazing. It was absolutely, it was just like the records, but it was amazing to me to see that stuff live. But see, now that would be the deft way I turn this around back to you. To see you performing these songs on Lost, because you will see the videos. They're really incredible. There's a lot of positivity in the lyrics and in the sound of the songs too, and in the way that the melodies move and the connecting bits and everything. You start off with the title song with Lost, and you go into a new journey, and it's like you're saying, like I said before, you're walking along and maybe things aren't that great, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to have it in your head to look for it and recognize it when you see it, and learn from the other stuff too.
You can ask anybody that knows me, and they will probably all agree that I'm one of the most positive people they know. My glass is never half full or half empty. It's always overflowing. And I could take all of these other phrases and say the same thing about the silver lining and all that stuff. I just, and if this album doesn't make it, the next one it will, Alan. Next one's going to be huge.
I believe you're right. I believe you're right.
And I just keep forging ahead. I just have a really positive attitude, and I wake up with a smile on my face, whistling and happy to be alive every morning. And that carries me through the day. And you know,
Well, if there's a song on this album that really takes that stance, it's "Home," which is it's a very kind of retro-esque, jazzy kind of vaudevillian number, sort of. About a home being a good place to be. And I love my favorite lyric on the album, and because God forbid I should remember these things, I'll read it. I'm telling you all to stay at home. If you're feeling what is it? It's lonely. If you feel, I can't read my writing. If you're feeling lonely, pick up a book, pick up the phone. Yes, I'm telling you all to stay at home. But if you feel you must go out, please send your clone. Don't infect me. Come on now. That's not fair. Don't do that to me.
yeah, it's just like I promised myself I wouldn't write a pandemic song because that bandwagon had been fully jumped upon, in my opinion. And this thing, "Home," just fell out. I had this little melody I was playing, that doody 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 kind of, when I'm 64 vaudevillian kind of thing. And then, I said, I was enjoying playing, and I'm going to turn this into something. And it was so like, I like to be at home. Nothing wrong with being at home. And then all of a sudden, in the midst of this, it was like, well, where am I going to go with this? And there I went. Since then, since this album has come out, I've actually written and recorded another pandemic song that's coming out. I don't know when it'll come out. It's not quite finished yet. I need some vocal assistance on this one. And this one is called "You Can't Lock Down Love."
No, you can't.
That's pretty positive.
Look, I look, positivity is a good thing these days.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, you'll be able to hear the song down there, and it's a very cool video co-starring the ever popular Lisa Michaels, who is just wonderful. Here's a question about, in the old days, recording artists actually labored over track orders, running orders. They just didn't, well, maybe not in the 60s necessarily. The Dave Clark Five put, "Catch Me If You Can" at the beginning, and then everything else was filler or whatever. But not today. I mean, the running order is important, and it makes a sort of statement, or it changes maybe the trajectory of the message or messages that you have there. Did you fool around with different track orders here, or was it just obvious where everything was going to go?
Running order is all important. Always has been, since the post Dave Clark Five era. I guess when the Beatles got very serious and started doing Revolver and Sgt. Pepper, it came to play. In the old format of an LP, side one and side two, you needed to start off with a real catchy tune and end the album or end the side in a big way, in order to coerce people to flip it over and do it again. And the same thing, you want to get their attention right away and end up big, so they'll turn the record over again.
Right.
Now the CD has this same thing going on, but a different problem, wherein there's 14 or 15 or 10 songs, whatever, in a row. It's start to finish. And so what I try to do is get off on a good standing and get people interested, and then get a little whimsical. And it comes in, it waves, hopefully tsunamis, where you start and build to a certain point, and then you bring it back down and go, and then. But I found that depending on, even when I'm working at home or somebody comes over and wants to hear what I'm doing, and I'll play them 3 or 4 songs. Now, song 4 sounds way better if I play it after song 2 than it does after song 3, because it was so slow, and song 3 was, you know what I mean? The juxtaposition of the songs, how they follow each other, the sequencing is really, really important. Not just trying to tell a story either. And so I pay a lot of attention to that. And so after doing a really serious song, I like to, do something silly, or vice versa. On this particular album, I dug up a song that I'd written for an animated cartoon that never got made. I think I did about a dozen songs for it, and the animated cartoon is called. We wrote a screenplay for it. It's called Sparked, and it's the story of Nikola Tesla as a child and his curiosity and whatnot. We describe it as Frozen for geeks. Anyway, in his adventures, young Nikola Tesla runs into the bullies in town. So I wrote this song, Great Big Bullies. And I really liked it. And I tried to sing it like with not my normal voice. So I tried to impersonate Goofy from Disney.
Sure.
Big bullies. That's the kind of way I sang it. And I thought it was fun. And I included it on this package because I had a lot of serious stuff on here and I needed some lighthearted fare. But I followed it with the Sultan's Dream, which is the story of a great big bully.
Yeah, except
the Ottoman Empire.
Right,
So
he didn't sound like Goofy. So.
That juxtaposition works really well for me.
Yeah.
It's a good setup to play the Sultan's Dream about this murdering Ottoman mad guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the sequencing is important, Alan.
Yes, the sequencing is important. Yeah, it is. Well, no, it absolutely is. So in this day and age, it's very rare to find an album that does not include a visual element. I mean, aside from the lovely Ted Jones painting on the cover there. Look at that.
Ted Jones, yeah.
Look at that. Oh my God. Jeez. Does he dream when he dreams? Does he paint a masterpiece? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm working on a new project, and I sent a couple of the titles of the songs to Ted already. I said, Ted, I got a couple of songs here. I said, one is called The Other Side, which may be a title for an album. And it's all about, I just want to be on the other side. I want to be over there. We all want, it's a happy song about being on the other side. And I have another a song that's brand new that is all about me wanting to be in Florida and not here in the Canadian tundra, in this frozen, everything is, there's nothing green here, Alan.
It's all ice.
Telling you. Anyway, this new song is it's called Earthbound, and it's about me being earthbound and wanting to fly. It's just about me wanting to go to Florida, but I made it so the lyric is,
in the future you're going to see a whole album of love songs to Florida.
So I sent a couple of these titles off to Ted already, so I can get his subconscious working, so that when we get to there, and he'll say, "Oh, I got an idea for that." And he always, I know it's so much fun to work with him.
Now, and everybody out there who maybe doesn't know the name of the guy that drew the Klaatu covers, it was Ted Jones. So there you go. Ted is awesome. Talk about the videos, because these are really just, I mean, it's very easy to come upon a video for a song these days, and some of them, not really all that great, but these are really terrific. I mean, Jamie Grant, who did these videos, really did a heck of a job. They're really good.
He does, and people keep telling me how great they are and what a good job we've done. And I have to tell them that I have nothing to do with this. And I let Jamie do whatever he wants. Anybody that wants to help me and digs what I'm doing, get on board. You're welcome. Get on the ship. You're on, and I'm not, I'm going to take your help. And if there's something I see that's, like in the song Home, he has a little sequence of Will Ferrell eating the bat. Is that with the deep fried bat? So. I think that's what the pandemic, right? It all ties in. And I called Jamie up, or I emailed Jamie. I said, you know what? Will Ferrell's just not that funny a guy. You really, I'm not a fan. Can we? He says, no, no, no. It's the scene where he eats the bat. I mean, this is crucial. I said, oh, okay, I get it.
It's crucial.
Fine. Go ahead, whatever. So I just let him run with it. And he emails me and says, okay, I love this new song. Can you green screen yourself singing it? I want to put you in the park, walk in the park. And really? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I set up the green screen and Anna films me and I'm miming along and being silly. And I actually, yeah. So let me finish I've done 2 or 3 of these now where he's asked me to sing along so he can use me. And he said, the last one he sent me, can you give me another video of you with the green screen, but please wear a different shirt. Apparently I'd worn the same shirt, my favorite shirt in all these videos. So, but there's a new video. I don't know if you've seen it yet because I just uploaded it last week, the last video. So now they're all done. The last video we did is The Sun Never Sets on the British Empire.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
No, okay, well, it's just been uploaded. So if you re-download, you'll see them all now. Or it's on my YouTube channel as well now too. And I had Anna film me. This song, The Sun Never Sets on the British Empire, has this madrigal type music in the verses. And I tried singing it, and that didn't work. I wasn't happy with it. And then I said, well, I'll just recite it. And I did that, and that didn't work at all. So I enlisted the help of a friend who does voices. And he said, oh, yeah, I can do this. And he sends me his recitation as a young Winston Churchill. And I thought, this is great. This is right what I want to do. Because I'm singing about the Victorian Empire. And when the choruses come, it's kind of like pop music, like the Kinks or something, you know. In fact, when this fellow, his name's Kieran Lafferty, when Kieran played the song with his voice on it, doing the young Winston, when he played it for his wife said, well, that's odd. It's like Richard Burton meets the Hollies. And I said, Kieran, that's exactly what I was trying to do. That's perfect. So in the video that Jamie's done, I got my friend Brenda to help because Anna had filmed me. I'm wearing like a Lord Nelson jacket, you know, with the buttons down both sides that goes to the knees, and a tricorn hat. And in the one video, I'm playing the guitar and singing. Another one, I'm just playing the tambourine. Another video, I'm playing the bass with sunglasses because bass players are cool. And another video, I'm playing the drums. So when we go to the chorus in this little ditty, I'm the whole band in this outfit singing The Sun Never Sets on the British. It's quite funny. And the one scene, I'm on a ship doing it. Another scene, I'm behind the English flag is behind me. And that was a lot of fun to do. That really turned out. I mean, it's really quite hilarious when you look at it. You might want to dig it up and throw it on here because it's amusing.
See, if you're not having enough fun, you know, at home, you want to see how to do it. You don't even need a green screen. Just watch this guy.
It is fun, and I do enjoy it. You know, and putting the songs together, you know, writing the song is that's okay. It's nice. It's rewarding. There was a blank piece of paper, and now it's not blank anymore. But when I get downstairs in the studio and I start picking the instruments and how I'm going to do this and which part's going to go here and there, that's so much fun for me. That is really what I like to do most. Is you know, I describe making the cake is nice. I like putting the icing on it. That's the fun part. We all like the icing better, don't we?
I do.
I do.
I do. Hey, it's sweet, you know.
You know.
So, listen, this guy's having more fun than anybody. I'll tell you. His latest album, we've been talking about it in between the other stuff today. Lost is the name of it. Ooh, look at that cover. Oh, it's wonderful. Just beautiful. See, not all who wander are lost. And I didn't have a special effect on there. That was pretty impressive, right? Lost.
You know, Alan, I called it Lost because it sort of it invokes a negativity about being lost. You know, when you're a little boy and you get lost, this is not a good thing when you want your mommy.
No.
But for me, when I'm traveling, and I love to travel, and I dearly miss not being anywhere last year. It's there's nothing I like more than looking at Anna and saying, we've never been on this road before, ever. And getting lost in some different culture, and being in a new place is just very exciting for me. So that's what this song Lost is about. It's not negativity, it's about being lost. And how great is that? I'm lost and looking beyond the next border, lost and looking, but not over my shoulder. I'm not going back, I'm going forward.
Well,
And
it's not a lost opportunity so much as the possibilities that opportunities present you.
that are endless. And you just have to go and make them for yourself. That's all there is to it. Just go and do it. And so I thought that that was a good title for the album because it creates an ambiguity. And then all the songs that follow it are generally, and there's the requisite space song. I watched it at Netflix. I'm watching a program. No, it wasn't Netflix. It was Nova. I was watching a Nova program about Voyager. And it was out in the outer planets, drifting off and sending back pictures. And I thought, well, maybe this will be the lost message from Voyager about what it's seeing, and not just sending pictures, but describing what it's seeing. And that was a lot of fun to do because it had to be spacey and weird, and it took me a long time to get the vocal right. I tried using the vocoder, and that worked great, except you couldn't understand a word of it. And so I ended up using a phase thing, a flanger and something else, and some weird effects. And then even in the verses, I'm whispering while I'm singing. I forget how it goes even. I am a Voyager. I am. It was very, very Captain Kirk. I had a great deal of fun with that one.
Well, look, we could talk forever, and we have on many occasions, actually.
Well, we had a preamble of half an hour before we even started today's idiocy.
Yeah, that's right. Today's idiocy included Soupy Sales, Kurt Vonnegut, and a whole bunch of other things. And the Three Stooges, lest we forget.
Dolly Parton. Mo and Evelyn.
So this is it, Lost. That's the name of the new Terry Draper album. You can get it at terrydraper.com and all its various things, and Amazon and Apple Music and Bandcamp, and watch the videos on Terry's YouTube channel. What more do you need for an afternoon and an evening of fun? I don't know.
You will be entertained.
Well, I'm entertained every time I talk to you, so make another album quick.
Okay, Alan. The Alan and Terry Show, part 17.
Right. It's always fun to talk to you. I always have a blast talking with you, and I hope the album's another huge success for one of the guys who's making it happen out there and having a good time doing it, Mr. Terry Draper.
Thanks, Alan. It's I enjoy chatting with you. We have such a good time, and I just get so animated, and you bring out the best in me. It's nice.
Me too. Thanks.
Yeah, it's fun.
We'll talk to you next time, my friend.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.